Anti-Semitism in the UK, it's been in the headlines a lot lately, not only because of the continuing spike in hate crimes against Jews over the past years, but also due to the manner in which the Labour Party has been dealing with anti-Semitism among its members. Some say quite unsuccessfully. The recent scandal surrounds alleged bullying of a Labour member of Parliament, Luciana Berger. The party pushed a motion of no confidence in Berger over claims she had been disloyal to the leader, Jeremy Corbyn, but it was withdrawn on Friday. In addition, local members of her constituency told the Guardian newspaper that one of Berger's critics had posted on Facebook that she should be, quote, exposed for the disruptive Zionist that she is. To discuss further, I'd like to welcome today Simon Johnson, the Chief Executive of the Jewish Leadership Council, joining us from London. And here in studio, joined by David Mencer from Labour Friends of Israel. Thanks. It's good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Simon, I'll start with you over there in London. What is this issue about Luciana Berger? What does this say about the party when it seems like a direct attack on one of their own members?
Unfortunately, it's not the first such attack, and I'm afraid I don't think it will be the last. Luciana Berger is one of a number of members of Parliament, many of them are women, who have received a huge amount of abuse and victimisation and bullying due to their supposed willingness to attack Jeremy Corbyn. The irony is that the thing that they are attacking Jeremy Corbyn for is his failure to get on top of anti-Semitism. And Luciana Berger herself has been the victim of vile and vicious anti-Semitism from a number of quarters, and a number of the people who've been responsible for those attacks are actually being convicted in criminal courts. So the difficulties that Luciana had this week, she is 8.5 months pregnant and yet was still facing a vote of no confidence by her local party, came on the back of a number of extremely depressing developments, including a meeting on Monday of the Parliamentary Labour Party, in which the General Secretary of the Labour Party, responding to calls by the MPs to come clean with information about how they were dealing with anti-Semitism, said that, in her opinion, she didn't answer to those MPs and was hopeful of ever being able to eradicate anti-Semitism. And that was also followed by the publication of the latest statistics for anti-Jew hate crime from the Community Security Trust, showing that anti-Semitic incidents in the course of the last year were at their highest in history.
We're going to talk about those numbers pretty soon. I want to let David weigh in on this issue with Luciana Berger and get your take on it, and also ask you, has Jeremy Corbyn been doing enough to take care of this at all?
Look, of course, Jeremy Corbyn hasn't done enough. He's had years now as leader of the Labour Party to do something, and he's done practically nothing. Look, it gets to this point. I don't understand how a Jew, who is a loyal Jew, who is, has some affiliation with their faith and some affiliation with Israel, I no longer can identify with any Jew that remains a member of the Labour Party. And
you're calling on all Jews to leave the Labour Party?
No, of course I'm calling for all Jews to leave the Labour Party. The Labour Party is no longer a place for Jewish people. It's not irreparable. Look, guys, the revolution has happened. A Marxist, Stalinist, whatever you want to call Corbyn, has taken over the party. It controls all of its organs, all of its most senior points. I can see no point whatsoever in a Jew. Luciana is a friend of mine. She took over my job at the Labour Friends of Israel. She's a great member of Parliament, but there is no more a place for Jewish people inside the Labour Party.
Simon, what do you make of that call of David for all Jews to leave the party?
Look, I can understand David saying that, but there is an argument, and these MPs are making it, that if they don't stay and fight, then who on earth is going to fight the anti-Semitism that is within the party?
The battle is lost, Simon, unfortunately.
I would say to David, I think the point I'd just make to you, David, is if it was only the Jewish MPs who were fighting this, then yes, the battle would be lost. But what I think is interesting is that the Parliamentary Labour Party last week at their meeting unanimously, so that's every single MP, whether Jewish or not,
Simon,
made this call.
It is meaningless. That call is meaningless.
David, let me just finish.
No, as long as they are staying inside. I'm talking about Jewish people, but also all decent people as well. It is time for all decent people who are against racism to leave the Labour Party. The battle is lost. The revolution has taken place. Jeremy Corbyn is triumphant. None of the tactics, including those of the Jewish community, have worked or been effective, or in the media for that matter. The battle is lost, and unfortunately the Labour Party is no place for a Jew, and certainly no place for anyone decent.
Let's let Simon respond. Quickly, Simon.
Look, in many ways I agree to some extent that the chances of eliminating anti-Semitism within the Labour Party are diminishing every day that Jeremy Corbyn and the current leadership remains in position. Whether one gives up the fight entirely and abandons the field entirely to the enemy, that's up to the people who are currently within the Labour Party. Our job as the leaders of the UK Jewish community are to make sure that it is widely known throughout this country exactly how the party is failing, not just the Jewish community, but is failing any community.
What more powerful message could there be for any Jew to say that this is no longer a party for me? What more powerful message could there be? Because none of your strategy, with respect, Simon, you've tried hard, and I respect that you've tried hard, but none of the strategy has been effective. The man is still receiving about 40% more or less in the polls. He's still receiving, that is, he's the major leading party in the UK, apart from the Conservatives. That no decent person should be part of the Labour Party right now. And I think, what more powerful strategy could there be for a call for people to leave? He has won this battle. It's time to regroup and fight from outside.
David. So I'm not an apologist for the Labour Party in any way. It is up to those of us who remain as proud Jews in this country to recognise that what we want to see is full engagement between the political parties with the Jewish community. We haven't got that at the moment, but the question that is to be made, and to be honest, you should be asking members of Parliament about this, whether they believe that it's better completely to abandon the field or whether it's better to stay and fight. If they do stay and fight, then I can tell you that the Jewish community will be right behind them, just as we believe that the entirety of the Parliamentary Labour Party is behind the Jewish community.
Okay, Simon, you brought up those statistics. I want to talk about that. The anti-Semitism incidents in 2018 from the report done by Community Security Trust, CST. New report shows that the anti-Semitic hate incidents in the UK hit a record high in 2018, with more than 100 recorded in every month of the year. It's a total 1,652 incidents reported nationwide. It's a hike of 16% from 2017. And just last week, a Jewish cemetery was vandalized in Manchester. David, why is it happening? What's going on?
Look, we're talking about the Jewish community's response in the UK. I think, you know, with all due respect to Simon's hard work, they have come to the fight against anti-Semitism much too late. And the battle is lost once again on anti-Semitism. They've come to the fight much too late. They've been dragged to the fight on anti-Semitism.
What do you mean it's lost? There's nothing to do? I mean, unfortunately, should Jews leave the country?
No,
what do you mean it's lost?
I mean, I am a living case of this point, because I was a member of the Labour Party for 20 years, lived 45 years in the UK. It's my country of my birth. It's a country which I love. But I, unfortunately, with many other people that are making Aliyah recently, now believe that, once again, the battle is lost. And I think a good thing for the Jewish community to be doing right now, and certainly the leadership, is to teach British Jews how to speak Ivrit. That would be a fantastic action. The best thing they could do is teach them to speak Hebrew.
Why? So they can come to Israel easier?
Unfortunately, the situation in the UK is extremely bad right now. Thankfully, we have a place where Jewish people can come to in the future. Now, enough of this apologism about, you know, actually Jewish life in the UK is really wonderful and there are some great institutions. You know, I remember reading the history books that actually Yiddish theatre and all these things prospered at a time when the persecution was the highest. So I think enough is enough. It's time to call a spade a spade. Enough apologism.
Enough apologism. That's what David here says. Simon, what's your reaction to that?
Look, I don't think anybody's apologising. I think that the fact is, despite the fact that there have been more anti-Semitic incidents last year than before, this still remains a country in which it is perfectly possible to live a very peaceful, very safe and very Jewish life. The government is behind us, the institutions of government, the police and security forces, and we have a great level of support. David, just with respect, I didn't interrupt you at all, so you might just let me finish.
But this is more important than you're having your speech right now, Simon. This is much more important. The Jewish community are being failed by the leadership.
Okay,
The reason that people are making Aliyah from the UK is because the Jewish community have failed their people. But now I believe it's too late for any action.
I want to let Simon respond. Simon, go ahead. You continue.
This country is still one where the institutions and the establishment support the Jewish community, where Jewish people make a full contribution to Jewish life. If people want to leave, then they will do that for their own reasons. But there is no reason at the moment why people should do that. However, it is still a fact that we are watching what is going on with the Labour Party with great concern. And if I felt, David, that if at any point the government or the mainstream society was abandoning the Jewish community, then yes, I would do that. But at the moment, the Jewish community is a full part of Jewish life. We have the full support of the government. We have the full support of the police and the security services. And I believe that for the moment, Jewish people should continue to live a full and active Jewish life in the United Kingdom.
20-second wrap-up, please, quickly, because I want to move on.
Look, unfortunately, the leadership of the community has not served the community as well. They have come to the game far, far too late. They've got involved in this fight on anti-Semitism, kicking and screaming into the fight. They've been bounced into it by people on the ground. The revolution has happened. It's time to wake up. It's no longer the wonderful country it once was, which I once believed in. It's time to move on.